What's up guys, and welcome to my channel Flame Over 4. In this video of Build the Ecto-1, we are going to be doing stage 41, the radio receiver. It does just say the radio receiver, but in this I feel like we are going to be needing a few more parts. It says tip switches. The switches have a moldable casing, so the direction of the wires can be changed once the switches have been secured by the button retainers. Also says key. The illustrations are color coded to help you identify which parts are being assembled. Red highlights where the new parts fit, and screw in yellow identifies the new parts. Grey, blue indicates the previous assemble on which the new parts is fitted. So I feel like we're going to need other parts other than the radio receiver. We will take those out and just quickly check on those. We'll quickly get those out and then we'll come back in a sec. Okay guys, we have all the parts out. You will have to go grab the cables because I'm feeling like we're going to need to use these, because I have switched through the magazine here quickly and it is showing us attaching the cables in this one before we even reach stage 42. So make sure you have your cables ready. These are all the parts that you need to get, so make sure you do the parts check off and make sure that everything is there and everything is correct for when you do that before you move on to the next stage. The first thing it's asking us to do is build up the radio receiver. So what we need to do is take 41A, which is this section here, and we need to take 41L, which is just here, and this will sit in the front of the radio there. So here you go. So basically it's just a grill bit there, so just black with silver little dots that go on the top there. So you need to push those into place. Again, these are not attached with anything, so they should just be a nice click fit into position. Make sure that if it's this way up, that you have the dots running along the top and then the narrow bits running along the bottom. So you will see that if you have the build, you'll see that on there, that they are a little bit different. So just going to get it into position before we click it in place. It's a little fiddly guys, but once you get it in position, it isn't too bad. So the next bit after you've done that, you do need to now push in this bottom recess in there as well. So this is 41J and it's a really tiny bit and it looks like this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys where you can see it, but it looks like that, and that just slots in the bottom right hand corner. Again, trying to line these up is a bit of a nightmare, but just make sure that the lines that are on there and the little dots just run along the top section how they should, and then they just literally just push into place, and then that is your radio receiver right there. We do need to now attach that to the top of the dash. So by the top I mean the actual top of the dash here, and this goes in this corner there. So there is a little locating tab there, and then there is two holes there which are for the screws. So you're going to need JP screws to hold that in. What I'm going to do is just line it up and show you what it looks like once it's lined up there. So you can see it looks a little bit like that. But I'm going to go and fast forward through putting the JP screws in, and we'll be back as soon as I pop those in, guys. Okay, so see you again real soon. So there you have it guys, that's how that's done. So that radio receiver sits on the top there, and underneath there are two JP screws, one there and one there, and that is how that's all held on, and it should look a bit like that. Once you've done that, you can now move on to the next stage. So it wants us to make up the dials, which are going to be you know, the ones that tell you the speeds and such. So we need to build this together. The first thing it wants us to do is make figure A. You need to take this nice shiny chrome section here, which is 41B, which has 3 holes in it like so, and then you need to take 41C, which is this actually really nice put together light display, which looks a bit like that. So much detail gone into that, guys. The tab needs to be facing towards the bottom, and then you need to just place that over the top like so, and then instead of attaching that, you need to just put it on the back of the dash here, so that will just attach in there. What we'll do is we'll go put that in. That's held in by 2 AP screws. Once that's in place, guys, we'll come back and show you a nice detailed look of what that looks like. Remember when doing these up, guys, do not over tighten them. I'm just going to show you from the back first before revealing the front. So the 2 AP screws, one there and one here. Make sure that your tab is running along the bottom there like so. Once you flip it around, you should have a cool looking dial that now looks like that. So this dash is coming along together so nicely. If you're going to be laying this down, be careful not to scratch the back of it. So always put it on some paper or something soft, and not to scratch it all up. we need to make another figure eight, which is going to be this piece with another piece attached into it. It looks like pretty much like the radio here, so that's pretty cool. And that needs to go into this section here. So with it being that way around, you need to make sure that this is up the right way around, and that should just literally go in there like so. And then that is held in on the back by 2 EP screws on the very inner ones on the back. So we're going to go and grab a couple of 2 EP screws, whack those in, and we'll show you what we mean when we're done. So there you have it, guys. Now that is done. That's figure A, and that is so basically this section here has got to have the 2 EP screws in. So that is now in there, and the 2 EP screws are on the inner side, just like that. And this is what it should look like when that bit's finished. Another piece you just need to put out of the way until we move on to the next bit. We just need to turn the page and see what's coming up next. So the first thing it's asking us to do is to install the chrome section here, and that just slides into there nicely like so. Everything fits really, really well on this model. I really do like how it all comes together. Once that's sitting in like that, we now need to attach it with 2 IP screws from the back. We'll just quickly go do that and we'll show you where those went. Okay guys, that's now done. So that should look like this at that stage, with the back here with the 2 IP screws, one on the raised section here and one on that raised section there. As you can see, those 2 are in, holding that all into place. The next bit's going to get a little bit fiddly because we need to start putting the wires into place. We do need to, so fitting the wires, begin by pushing the main light switch cover into the round slot on the left of the dashboard, upper panel 40A, figure 8. Then push the switch at the end of the main light switch 38E into the switch switch cover 41E. Cover the switch with a button retainer. Okay, so the first thing it's asking us to do is to take these. This is 41E is just a standard one with like a, oh, it's really hard to hold it and show you, but it's like it almost got like a rigid bit on the back of it, and then whereas this one is just sort of like a plug which will hold it all into place. So what it's asking us to do is from the back here, it's saying that there is an open section just inside there. We're pretty much like kind of like an ignition barrel, and that needs to just push into there. So that will come through and be exposed at the other end. So if I could just push that through and just try and show you without it coming out, it just kind of looks like a knob or a dial which is going through there. So detailed. So that is just sticking through the bottom there. And then what it's saying for us to do is we need to put, by the looks of it, an LED in there. So we need 38E to go into that section there. These should have what they are on them. You will have to obviously check through the magazine which one is which. Okay guys, once you have grabbed your magazine, that will tell you which colours you have. So we needed 38E, which is the main light switch grey. So you need to go take that. This has got a little switch on the end of it, so that will push into there. Look at that, it's got a little button switch. So that's really cool and so detailed. Right, so we need to now just pop that one back into the hole. Once that's in place, just push it through. And then what you need to do, it is quite difficult to kind of try and show you how this is going to work, just for the simple fact that it's, you know, it is a switch. But what you need to do is you just need to like let it sort of lay down into place, if you can. And you have these little tabs, and these little tabs, you just need to get an EP screw. Make sure you got the magnet screwdriver to put that on the end. I will try and show you this up close once we're done. It's not going to be easy to try and line it all up and do it at the same time with the switch in place as well. But you can do it, so just be patient with it. Make sure that the cable comes out at the side, and then, like I said, just be really patient with it and then line everything up. So what I need to do now is just line this section up. It's going to be really fiddly. I want to show you this in real time because I want to show you how fiddly this is, and we will do it and it will go as planned because we'll make sure of it. You might want to grab your tweezers when you're doing this. The best thing to do is make sure you got your screw ready. if you could start your screw off, then you can just line everything up once you've started, and everything should then slowly go into place. Very, very fiddly, but not impossible. Do not over tighten this, guys. Please do not over tighten this. Right, so once that's in place, right, I need to go a lot further than that. This EP screw needs to go a lot further down. You want to make sure that that switch doesn't move. But you will need to make sure that you can press it in. There you go. That's absolutely fine. So I can try and show you if you can see it. So there's a little tab holding that side cable into place there, and then that now controls that switch here. So if you press that little grey switch there, that will turn things on and off. So smart, such a great idea. Again, we need to do the same thing with the switch for the other side. This does have a little cutout recess on it, and this one is going to be 41F, so that's going to just fall into place in there. You do need to make sure it goes into the recess part that's at the bottom, because it does fit in a certain way. So there you go. So that should now look a little bit like that. So it's really difficult to try and show you in there because it's so dark, but there's an EP screw holding that into place, and then the ignition barrel switch, the key where the key would go in, just goes on that section there. Right, so once you've done that and got that into place, we now need to move on to doing 2 more of these switches, which we're going to go and do now. Okay guys, so I went ahead and just put in the last of these just so you guys know where they go. So so the white one here, which is this one, is B on the wire itself. That goes in just this side here, and it's just held in by, I think it's a different screw. It's a KP screw that holds that one into place. I just love how all of this at the front here with these switches are going to be the functions that turn everything on. So that's going to be really cool. We have C there, which is the blue wire, which just goes on the inner side. So you've got the white one, the blue one. Then you have the green one, which is E here. That just needs to go in there as well. And then you have the small blue-green wire, and then you have the grey wire there. So then make sure that you got them all that way around, and as you can see there, that is where they go and how they go in. So once you've done that, the last piece for this top dash section is going to be putting in H. So that is H there, and it's asking for us to put that into place by placing it in this way round, and it's asking for us to just slot it in to the back of there. And I'll just show you that in a second. And just make sure you line it up nicely, because you've got LEDs going into there and you are going to be touching the board on the back. So just be careful when pushing it into place that you don't damage anything. And then once that's pushed in, it holds in quite nice and snug. It should look like that. So these are all the ones that you should have coming out the back. And then this is what it should look like when you're finished at that stage. So this is the finished stage now. So it should look a little bit like this. So doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? I can't wait to wire this up. It's going to look really, really nice. So guys, thanks very much for watching. Please join me again in the next issue where we're going to be doing stage 42, the Gentech antenna and the emergency brake pedal. So we're going to be installing all that and putting the dash together. So can't wait to do that with you guys. Please do join me for that, and I'll see you real soon. Take care now. Bye bye.